Chalo people, let us start. Okay, so initially few common questions to all of you. Okay, so what is a ratio? We can say ratio is what? Relationship between two numbers, right? That's what initially we had learned. Okay, ratio helps us to compare, correct? Compare our own performance with our own past performance, or we can also do what? We can compare our performance with somebody else's performance. Okay, fine. Now you tell me, we have classified the ratios in how many types? Three types. Correct, friends? Okay, you can talk from that side. I'll be able to see what you people are saying. So the first one, what we had seen, give me. The first one, what we had seen, correct, P&L ratios. Yes. Second one was balance sheet ratios. Correct. Third one is mixed ratios. Okay, fine. Just show me by your fingers how many P&L ratios. Five. Okay, fine. Just put the names of all the five ratios in one answer. Don't go on putting separately. Go on, go on. I want you to write in my chat box. Just shortcut. Hmm. Good. Karina, I got your answer. Jay also. Many answers. Now it's moving very fast. Beyond my control. Okay. Okay. Good. Good people. Almost many of you have answered. Very good. Somebody is distributing ration also. All the every ratio is ending with N. GP ration, NP ration, operating profit ration, expense ration. Very good. No problem. You remember the ratio, that is important. Good. Okay. Uh, well replied. Fine. Let's go ahead. That's okay. You need not. That's why I don't tell the name now. Who has typed that wonderful thing? Okay. Uh, let's come to the next. So the next category is balance sheet ratios, right? How many ratios, guys? How many ratios? Right? You'll remember that. As much shortcut as you can apply. I'm reading. Absolutely zero worries. Yes. Some people have typed 7 also. Okay, number of ratios. Zero problems. Rishabh is quick. Current quick, stock working capital, debt equity capital. Uh, Rishabh, you missed super quick ratio. Bharat, perfect. Jai, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, good. I'm getting answers, that's what I'm saying. They are writing right. Vanarasi, Sejal, okay. Maitri also. Santhya is written in some code language, but it's fine. Too much of too much of abbreviations. Okay, no problem. I'm getting it. Very good. CR, QR, SQR, SWCR, DER, CGR, PR. Very good. Vinita, good. हो गया. Perfect. Shraddha also. Quick, super. Current, quick, super quick. Stock. This. Charan. Stock what? Stock working capital, no, at least. Don't do so much of shortcut. Okay, Gauri Shankar has also written. Good. Fair enough. Let's. Yes, Devish. Akshata as well. Okay, okay. Getting your answers. Good, guys. I hope you remember this and you're not just making it an open book exam. You remember these names? Very good. Smart people. Okay, fine. Let's talk about mixed ratios. In that we have learned two categories. Correct? Till now we have learned two categories. What was the first category? Type and send. Profitability. I think the first what we did was profitability ratios in relation to investment, right? Okay. How many? I in fact showed four. Correct. What did we discuss, guys? Profitability ratio in relation to investment, na? So what is the maximum amount of money that you invest in your business? What is the maximum amount of money that you invest in your business? What it is called as? Shortcuts are absolutely fine. Don't put a lot of efforts. Even if you write CE, I understand. I understand, Srija, that you mean to say capital employed. Okay, fine, fine. Yes, Rishabh has already finished writing everything. Wonderful. Vishal also. Okay. Karina also has replied. Come on, guys. So four ratios are there, right? Okay. So the first one is what? ROCE. Correct? Returns on capital employed. You remember how to remember returns on, you remember how to remember these ratios. Always visualize a man on a horse. Half the things are done, right? Returns on capital employed. So returns on the top, capital employed in the denominator. Okay, on bike also is absolutely fine, Karina, no problem. Whatever you remember. Okay, yeah. Huh. So returns on capital employed. What's the formula? EBIT upon capital employed into 100. Okay, great. I hope you remember this now. Okay. So if I ask you return on proprietors fund, so what thinking you have to do? Okay, sir, half the ratio so you have only told us. Returns on proprietor fund means, sir, one thing is sure, denominator is proprietor fund. So what you have to think, what is the suitable profit that should come in the numerator? What you have to think is this, that sir, what will be the suitable profit to come in the numerator? So what will be that? Net profit after tax. Right. Okay. Yeah, I can read you. I can understand. See people typing also, people talking also. Both things I can understand. Good. Okay. Good. Then after we do returns on proprietor fund, we have one very important ratio. Remember that returns on equity shareholder fund, and where I had absolutely highlighted, guys, this is the only ratio where exceptionally it is called as what returns on equity. Hope you guys remember this, right? I had made a very big circle, highlighted, bold, whatever I could do, I had done. See, people, please remember returns on equity shareholder fund. So what is okay? Fine. So sir, denominator is sure, no? Equity shareholder fund. Yes, absolutely. Okay, fine. But then what will be the profits available for equity shareholder fund? You remember, Payesh? How do you calculate, Payesh? That you tell me. You reach till NPAT. Out of that, you will remove aside whom? Preference dividend from the profits, from the net profits after tax. You keep aside what? Preference dividend. Correct. Right? Then whatever is the profit left is a profit available for equity shareholder. Right, people? Okay, fine. Please remember, exceptionally, this ratio is known as returns on equity as well. Rest all places have always told you equity means proprietors fund in all other places. But only in this formula, question asks you to calculate returns on equity. You have to apply returns on equity shareholder fund. And I told you the logic also. If you see in the market, in the real world, in the business world, nobody cares about preferential shareholders. Why, sir? Because returns of preferential shareholders are as such fixed. Right? You understand? See, as I told you, see in Maharashtra, it was like what initially first to 9th and 11th exam was cancelled. I told you now, then these people are not interested in the result. They're getting promoted in the next year. Okay. Then few days afterwards, some announcement from CBSE board came. The 10th is cancelled. Now even they are not bothered about the result. Something like that. Preferential holders say we are not interested in your result. Keep it to you. We are not affected. You getting my point? Right? So like that you need to understand the returns on equity in the market. Who's concerned about the results? It is always the equity shareholders who are concerned about the results. Nobody else. Neither debenture holders nor preferential holders. Absolutely clear to all of you? Yeah? Okay, fine. Then a small conversion of this ratio. What is that? Returns on equity share capital. Where what is the only thing to change? In the denominator, what do we do? Yes, Bharat has already replied. Plus, he started reporting the messages. What you have to do? Returns on equity share capital. So denominator becomes what? ESC, equity share capital. Very good. Shrija also. Yes, correct, Jay. Okay. The only thing is that numerator will remain same. Paish. Denominator will change to what? Equity share capital. Right, friends? Okay, fine. Then we had also discussed what? The next category. Oh my gosh. Return. All the ratios are already written. Turnover ratios. Super duper. Okay, correct. In turnover ratios, how many ratios are there, guys? 7 ratios. Can you visualize the balance sheet that I had shown you? You remember that's a easy way of remembering. See, if you can visualize that, okay, that becomes an easy way of remembering the things. Correct? Okay, so I'll just share the balance sheet with you people and I'll ask you the ratios. Hmm. Okay, so after seeing this balance sheet, after recollecting this, if you can visualize this balance sheet, right, people? See, people, we visualize a lot of things. You understand what I say? Ah, people, we can visualize a lot of things, right? See, you know what? We have some common words. We utter the word is same, but the visualization is different for all of us. Like if I say school, it's such a wonderful word, no? By the time you are talking to me, by the time you are looking in your books, and by the time I'm teaching you people, all of us have reached our school mentally. Such a wonderful word. Home, native place, right? We hop fast, very fast. We can visualize all these things. We say father, we say mother, friend, sister, everything. We say FM, sir, blank, blank, sir, blank, black, black, total blackout, sir. That's the thing. Okay. So try to connect the things with the images. If you pictorial memory is the best thing. So if you can, back to my work, if you can visualize this, okay, remembering the 7 turnover ratios is no big task for us, right? Okay. So we talk about turnover ratios. The first one is what? Capital employed turnover ratio. Correct, friends, right? What logic we had developed? So we use this money and buy total assets. Okay, fine. So the second one is what? Total asset turnover ratio. A part of it. Fixed asset turnover ratio. Are fixed assets sufficient to run the business? No, sir. Working capital is also required. Okay. Next one. Fourth one is what? Working capital turnover ratio. Some important parts of working capital? Yes. What is that? Stock turnover ratio, debtors turnover ratio, creditors turnover ratio. I mean to say this is what stock, debtors, creditors are the most important part of any business is working capital. These are there by default. Correct, people? So if you remember this, it will become very, very, very easy to remember. Right, people? I hope this visualization of balance sheet will help you to collect all 7 turnover ratios very fast. Right, friends? Okay. So today, I hope you are remembering these ratios. Okay. At the end, what we will do is we'll put all these ratios in a shortcut on one piece of paper. Okay, you can copy that. You can take a screenshot, write on your own, and keep on referring. See, if we can keep screenshots, if we can keep screensavers of different people, scenarios, right? Why not of ratios for a few days at least? On your mobile, the screensaver can be ratios. All the ratios clubbed on one page. The logic is to use that pictorial part of your memory. That if you visualize that, then it's like officially copying the things from the visual memory. Okay, so fine, let's go ahead. So today we start with few more other ratios, and then today we have to start with the questions. Okay. Like wallpaper. So, yeah, people, before we start, few mandatory questions. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Can you see my screen? Everything is proper. Otherwise, Zoom doesn't permit to go ahead. No, Zoom doesn't allow us to go. They they're told that every time host has to ask these questions. Okay, friends. So everything is in order. Yes. Thank you, sir. So time to talk about some more ratios. Okay. So basically, we are done. Just like discussing a few more extra things. Okay, so let's start with it. The first one is earnings per share. The market people usually call it EPS. Earnings per share is EPS. Now, see, without a single doubt, we should know to be calculated for whom. Means, sir, what is the tone of this question? I meant to say earning per share. So we have preference shareholders also and equity shareholder also, no? It will be calculated for whom? For equity or for preference? Equity, everybody understands this. Again, the same logic, no, guys, that preference, there's no hidden thing or there's no secret thing in case of returns of preference shareholder. Preference shareholders have fixed rate of return. So there is nothing like finding result for them. All result finding has to be done for whom? It has to be done for equity, correct? Okay. So the formula is profits available for equity shareholders divided by number of equity shares. See, friends, remember very specific. This is going to come as dash rupees per share. Okay, this is going to come as dash what? Rupees per share. Okay, you know what? You know what? You can always compare this to, I know this will come to your mind. Uh, see, in profitability ratios in relation to investment, check out your third ratio, returns on equity. You have the notebook, so I hope that you can quickly check that. Profitability ratios in relation to investment, check out the third ratio, returns on equity. What do you do there? It is Payesh upon equity shareholders funds. So, or see the fourth ratio, returns on equity share capital. It is Payesh upon equity share capital. So what we can say, the fourth ratio, it is in percentage and here it is per share. Okay. So what I would say, returns on equity share capital, fourth ratio of profitability is in percentage form. This one is in which form? Is in a dash rupees per share form. So basically what these ratios show, it shows how much profit is earned per share. Simple. How much did you earn per share is what it all shows. Nothing else. Right, people? How much did you earn? Is it necessary that whatever is earned would be given away to all equity shareholders? What say, guys? No, not necessary. But how much is earned is what the ratio shows. Okay. Now see, there are two things. How much is earned and how much you receive. Don't you think so? Right. Now see, I understand. See, I know that this is what I'm earning. Now somebody tells me, "Hey, you are earning so much, correct? But what are you doing? You're not enjoying that money. You're saving everything." I said, "Okay, fine. And let me save. No, saving for my future. Very correct. Secure your future. But what you are doing in the present, you're not enjoying anything. That is there. See, this happens. No, so how much I earn is correct, but how much I enjoy out of that is also equally important. I'm talking from equity shareholders' point of view. Talking from equity shareholders' point of view. Understand, students, beyond the point, what happens? How much profit company earns for them becomes slightly immaterial for them. Why? Because those profits always remain with whom? They always remain with company. Fine. Profits are owners, equity shareholders money only. But sometimes I should get that money also. Everything just knowing that this belongs to me is good. But I think getting some part of it is also equally important. So this ratio shows what? Earning per share. What it shows? How much profit is earned per share. But see, guys, beyond the point, think like an equity shareholder. See, company is earning a lot of profit and keeping everything with them. Tomorrow I die, what will happen? I will get nothing out of it. So I say, give me some money today. Yeah, come on. Why you are telling me all the time that you have a lot of profits, lot of profit? I want money. So every equity shareholder, you know what happens? Every equity shareholder is always concerned about the second ratio. Okay. So what is that second ratio? That is dividend per share. The second ratio is what? Dividend per share. Yes. Because you understand what I'm saying. Let's see, having money is good. Having money is good, but getting is also equally important, no? Right? Yeah, we will call it DPS. dividend per share. Now tell me, students, think logically. Okay, whatever is the per share, out of that some part would be given away. So that is what we call it as what? Equity dividend distributed. Equity dividend distributed. Divided by what? Number of equity shares. Number of equity shares. So this will become your dividend per share, rupees per share, obviously, because it is in the name itself. It is written per share. If it is written that it is per share, then it has to be rupees per share. So equity dividend distributed upon what? Number of equity shares. So what this ratio will show? The ratio shows how much is actually distributed to equity share holders. I'm writing out of Payesh right now. From where will we distribute the profits to the equity shareholders? Out of Payesh only, correct? So the ratio shows how much is actually distributed to equity shareholders. In the form of, just add one word over here, how much profit, form of dividend. Because whatever is Payesh is a profit available for equity shareholder only. What I told you, beyond the point what they are concerned, and how much actually today we are getting in our pockets. Okay, let's continue. There are some few more ratios in continuation with this. Now, the next ratio to calculate is dividend payout ratio. Okay. See now, just now what we did dividend per share, that how much actually is distributed divided by number of equity shares. Now you tell me, dividend is paid out of Payesh only, right? So how I would put it, I'll put it like this. See here. We have some Payesh, okay, profits available for equity shareholders. Okay. Let's say this is 100 rupees. Out of that, you gave away a dividend 40 rupees. So the balance is retained earnings 60 rupees. Correct, people? Do you understand what I wrote just now? Right? That the profits available is 100. Correct. Profit available is 100. But company is not giving away everything out of it. In our current example, how much is it giving away? 40 rupees it is giving away out of 100. So if I decide to calculate percentage of that, then it will be 40%. So what equity shareholder would say, or what the company would say, that we maintain a dividend payout ratio of how much percent? 40%. So guys, if I say my dividend payout ratio is 40%, then obviously my retention ratio is, sorry, my retention ratio is 60%. Correct now? Out of 100 I paid away 40. Means how much did not I pay away? 60. Everybody understood this, right? Okay. Let's write for it. Let's write for it. So now you tell me how we should calculate dividend payout ratio. This is the total equity dividend paid or equity dividend distributed out of what? Parish. People have to remember this, right? So it becomes very easy to understand, right? Okay. So how we will calculate dividend payout ratio? See, equity dividend distributed out of what? Tell me. Out of Payesh, correct? Now, equity dividend distributed upon Payesh into 100. Right? If you just remember this number, you'll say, "Ah, sir, it's very easy now." 40 is distributed out of how much, sir? Out of 100, na, sir? So it is 40%. Absolutely fine. Wait, hold. We have one more way of looking at it. We have one more way of looking at it. Okay. Uh, so I would say this is A. Just don't write for a moment. I know that the moment I start writing, people start copying. It's okay. But wait for some time. Okay, wait for some time. I'm going to show you some modification of this ratio. See, uh, let's make it like this. Let's repeat. I'm writing this ratio. Okay, equity dividend distributed upon what? Paish. Hold on, guys. Hold on. You copy after I complete the interpretation. Okay. Let's move to the first ratio. What's our first ratio? Paish upon number of equity shares gives us what? EPS, right, friend? Okay, fine. And equity dividend distributed upon number of equity share also gives us what? Dividend per share. So you know what trick I'm going to play? You know, now in maths we have learned these things like you divide and multiply by the same number. The value of the ratio doesn't change. Whatever number is given, if I multiply by 2, divide by 2, what happens? Does the value change? No, it will remain same now because I multiply and divide by the same number, right? Something like that we'll do over here also. See, I divide this by number of equity shares, and I divide this also by number of equity shares. Hello, maths experts, please don't cancel this. Otherwise, the whole thing is going in vain. Ah, hold on, guys, hold on. Now you tell me. The first part that we wrote, equity dividend distributed, okay, divided by number of equity shares. What is that? Equity dividend distributed upon number of equity shares. Can I say it is dividend per share? Yes, or upon upon number of equity shares. Upon number of equity shares. Can I call it EPS? What's it, guys? Are we correct to say this? Yes. Okay. So we have one more way of looking at this ratio, people. Right? What we can say, yes, sir. Dividend payout ratio. Okay, fine. What we understood, sir. Dividend payout ratio is equity dividend distributed out of the total profit. Calculate it per share also, people. It will come same. With DPS upon what? EPS. Okay, so this way you can understand. Either you go, sir, why are you teaching two things? Teach one thing only, na, sir. Array, but that depends upon question, na. You should know both the things, no. You've been asked to calculate dividend payout ratio, and you don't find total dividend paid. You just find DPS upon you find DPS and EPS. So then you should know, na. Dividend per share is paid out of what? Earning per share. Dividend per share is paid out of what? Earning per share. So that will be dividend payout ratio. Simple as that. Are you done, guys? Okay. So, sorry people, hello. I don't go on putting me that message. Now you did not write in 200. Suppose I say dividend payout ratio is 40%. So you know now 40% is 0.4. So suppose I get DPS upon EPS as 0.4, then how much will you answer me? You'll say, sir, 0.4 is nothing but what? 40%. Yes. Okay. Come on, let's go ahead. So we talked a lot about dividend payout ratio. So now let's talk about retention ratio. So let's talk about retention ratio. Can you tell me the answer? Huh? Listen, Hari. Shant. Wait. See, wait, people. Don't go on doing actions from that side. Listen to me first. Arey, Baba, wait. Hold on. See, guys, you know where we had discussed this? We had discussed this in operating ratio and operating profit ratio. Okay. If you go through your notebook, you realize that I told you like this. You see, operating profit is coming 10%. Then the operating cost has to be how much? 90%. Remember that. 1 minus operating profit ratio. That's what we had discussed. You remember this, guys? There are two options. Either you take a total of all operating cost and divide by net sales. Or what is the simple answer? Operating profit, we in our answer came 10%. So operating cost has to be 90%. Correct? Same thing, guys. Same thing we are applying over here. Same thing we are applying. Retention ratio. Oh my goodness, so many messages in the box. The box is full. 1 minus dividend payout ratio. Oh my god. So many people writing. Smart breed, smart breed. I am blessed to have such intelligent students to teach. Smart guys. Yeah. Okay, so as you all wish, I will write that way. Okay. So 1 minus dividend payout ratio. Okay. Everybody, all people present in the meeting agree on this now. 1 minus dividend payout ratio. Okay, great. Okay, wait. That's not all. That's not all. We can have one more interpretation now. It takes some efforts. Okay. People are giving me the credit. Hey, Papa, you people are so born intelligent. Where I was there when you were born. Okay, so 1 minus dividend payout ratio is one thing, right? That we said, sir, dividend payout is 40%, so retention is what? 60%. Perfect. Okay. Can there be some other interpretation? Yes, there will be. There will be. There will be. Wait. See, when you calculate dividend payout ratio, what you did, you said equity dividend distributed upon PAISH. So whatever is not distributed is retained, right? So what you can write? You can write total retained earnings upon PAISH. Correct, na? Part of PAISH which goes away is dividend. So when it came to dividend payout ratio, what you said? Sir, do like this. Take this 40 rupees dividend divided by PAISH. So 40%. Then why not retention ratio be like this? Take this 60 rupees retained upon 100. Can't it go this way? It can go this way also. Sir, if this can go this way, no. Sir, I have one more interpretation. Yes, sir. Tell me. Okay. Total retained earnings. See the way I taught you over here. Divided by number of equity shares. Divided by number of equity shares. Okay. So how we can interpret now? See, What will be the total per share retained earnings? Pay attention and understand this. I'm going to take one example also, but try and understand this. 10 rupees I earn per share. Out of that, whatever is given away is called DPS. Correct? So can I say earning per share minus dividend per share is retained earning per share? Listen to this very carefully. Otherwise, we will not find it. See, read what is there on the screen. EPS minus DPS. Earning per share minus dividend per share. Can I say the remaining part is retained earning per share? Correct? Now just tell me what should I put in the denominator? EPS should be compared with the earning per share, right? So what can I say? The numerator, this is EPS minus DPS. Okay, so right, this is, sir, what is this? This is retained earnings per share, sir. EPS minus DPS would be what? Retained earnings per share, correct? Divided by what? Divided by EPS. This will give you per share. Simple. So a lot of formula, a lot of formula. Yes, you can. You see, you need to understand the interpretation, right? Okay, fine. So let's do one thing. Let's do one thing. Let's take some numbers. Okay. Look at all these four ratios. Huh? Look at all these four ratios. Right. I hope you have written all this. What we will do, we'll take some numbers and play around with those numbers and see the applicability of all these four ratios. Okay. Yeah. Let's do that. Let's do that. So I take some example, simple example, just basic guys. Basic. Don't expect me to take a lot of complicated things. The purpose is to make you understand the concept. Okay. So let's say like this that NP80 is 1,20,000. Preference dividend is 20,000. Okay, so 1 lakh would be like that would be Paresh. Let's say number of equity shares are 10,000 and company proposes notice for per equity share as okay, basic data. So let's do one thing. Let's go and calculate, right? See, what is the first ratio? Means that will put you in real situation. Now, okay. What is the first ratio? The first ratio was earning per share. Okay. What does that? Per share upon what? Number of equity shares, right, friends? Okay. Yeah, I can see people are already answering me. Thank you, friends. Okay. So what we will say, sir, EPS is what, sir? Per share upon what? Number of equity shares. Correct, friends? How would you calculate per share? Tell me. You would take NP80 minus preference dividend, and upon number of equity shares we already know 10,000. Okay, so you do NP80 120 minus the preference dividend of 20. Correct, friends? So that's 1 lakh. 1 lakh divided by 10,000. So what would you say, sir? It is 10 rupees per share. You need to understand, people. This is not a percentage. This is not a percentage. This is earning per share. It has to be in numbers. It has to be in rupees. Understand? Suppose this is a class of 200 students. Okay, I bring 4 chocolates. I bring 400 chocolates to distribute to you. So we want dairy milk. Okay, fine. Take whatever. I don't have to actually give. So it's okay if you say, sir, the big silk, 100 rupee, 140 rupees. Okay, fine. I brought 400 such silk Cadbury silks. 200 students, 400 Cadbury cells. So how much per student? 2. 2 what? Percentage? 2 units. Common sense. Likewise, here it will be what? Rupees per share. No, earning per share cannot be in percentages, guys. Yeah. So back to the discussion. So I hope everybody understood this calculation. Okay. Fine. So earning per share is clear. Let's calculate the second one. Dividend per share. Okay. See, now you are telling me, sir, it is already written over here. I agree with you guys. I know it is 4 rupees per share. But suppose question doesn't tell you that, then how would you calculate? Total equity dividend distributed upon what? Number of equity shares. So total would be how much? 10,000 into 4. So 40,000 would be distributed upon number of equity shares. How much? 10,000. So it will come to how much? It will come to 4 rupees per share. Correct, friends? Dividend payout ratio, dividend per share is clear to all of you. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Third one, dividend payout ratio. Okay, fine. So let's do that. Third one. Dividend payout ratio. So how we can calculate total equity dividend distributed. Okay, total what? Equity dividend distributed upon what, guys? How, from where do you distribute it? You distribute it from Payesh. Okay, so it's very simple now. Total equity dividend distributed already we calculated 40,000. Payesh, we have calculated 1 lakh. How much, sir? 40%. Any other way out? Dividend payout ratio? Yes. What do you pay dividend out of? You pay dividend out of what? Payesh, no. So per share it is EPS and DPS. We know that. DPS is 4 rupees. EPS is 10. So 0.4. That is only what? 40%. Right? Now you know, everybody knows if dividend payout. Now I ask you retained earning ratio. Or retention ratio. Okay. So we have got various options of calculating retention also. Right, friends? How we would calculate retention, you tell me. 1 minus dividend payout ratio. Very simple, sir. That is 1 minus zero point 0.4. That is 0.6. That is what? 60%. Oh gosh, so many answers. Okay, friends. Thank you so much for writing over here. Huh. Okay. So I hope with this example, this becomes pretty simple to remember, right? Yep. So just I'll zoom out a little in case you're not yet written. Just mention all this. Sure, people done copying. Yes, DPS, EPS comes in the exam itself. It's a very commonly used shortcuts. They ask you to calculate EPS, then what? Why would you should write earning per share? They are very commonly given things in the question also. Okay, friends. So see, here till now we have covered 4 under this other ratios. I have few more to cover. Okay. So what you do is no, you leave around 2 sides blank in your notebook, 3 sides blank, 3 sides blank. Because now people are like, sir, let's solve some question, let's solve some question. Lot of, lot of theory, lot of theory. Okay. So what you do is you leave 3 sides blank. Okay, right? So we'll gradually cover, or maybe at the next half of the lecture we will cover, or as per the question need we will cover. Okay. So we will cover a few more ratios. What I will do is I'll read this sheet number 2 completely. Okay, so let's start with this. I'm keeping this. I have asked you to leave few sides. So even I plan to continue after that. So suppose like later on, so you say, sir, you want to take screenshot of everything. Okay, so everything at one place, right? So this 2 files I'm keeping as it is. I'm not disturbing. Starting with the new one, so that even in future you say, sir, I want to have the screenshot of the whole thing. So that can be done later on. So fine, friends. So yes, I have to cover a few more ratios. Okay, friends. I have to cover a few more ratios, but let's do it at some comfortable time. So after solving like 2, 3 questions, you can answer now. Like okay, you're getting a hang of it. Okay, fine. Acha, you remember we even when we talked about questions, we had few types of questions. You remember that? This much we don't remember. So it's too much of expectations. I understand that. But you don't worry, no, we have all this, no. So we will talk about this. See, don't take troubles, people. I have seen. In this chapter, we will learn to do what? Calculate ratios from given financial statement. Straightforward question. Reverse. Prepare financial statement from the given ratio. So ratios will be given in the question. You use that, fill in the blanks. Okay. And the third one, calculate ratios and what? Interpret. So I told you, you have to put some comments, which you all are good at it, right? So let's come to it. Right? People ask a lot of questions. Hey, Baba, what is that? We are giving balance sheet. We should prepare balance sheet. Hello, Shrija, move it up, please. Hi guys. Let's read question number 1. Okay. See, you remember I taught you some format long ago. Once upon a time, I taught you some format. Okay. That format was for what? Basically, for our understanding. Okay. So in the questions where we are told that you calculate certain ratios, shall I convert the normal balance sheet into that balance sheet? No, nothing like that. We should not put our time behind all those things, right? Just solve, gather the data, collect the data, fill up, give the answer. That's it. Okay. Let's go through one question so we'll understand better what exactly I'm saying. Okay. So we all will go through question number one. Okay. The following is the balance sheet of Z Limited on 31st March 2020. Another information from which you have to calculate current ratio, liquid ratio. Liquid ratio means only what, guys? Quick ratio, correct? Stock working capital ratio, capital gearing ratio, stock turnover ratio, debtors turnover, and collection rate. Okay, fine. This is the balance sheet as on what date? Did you notice that? It is as on 31st March 2020. Okay. And then here you are given stock on 1419, right? Debtors on 1419. So you know what, guys? This is going to be your closing, right? If this is your closing, then 1419 is what? That is our opening values. And then we know in some formula we have like average stock, we have like average debtors, which we'll be able to do, then we should calculate. Okay. So stock on 1419 is given 120. So that's the opening stock. Sales, all credit is 20 lakh. Okay, fine. GP ratio is how much percent? 25%. Okay. Debtors on 1419 is given this. Then the balance sheet is given. We'll have a quick classification. Like fixed assets are fixed assets. Wonderful. Short-term investments are what? Current assets. Stock is also what? Current assets. Correct. But specifically, this is a NQA. By any chance, you remember what is this NQA? If not, then I will write over here. Come on, tell me, people, do you remember what is this NQA? Ha, yeah, yes, yes. I could read few people saying something. Non-quick asset. Very good. You remember that? One more fellow is there. Who's that? One more fellow means, sir, what do you mean to say? One more non-quick asset. Prepaid expenses. Correct? We had marked very specifically, sir, these two are non-quick assets. Correct, na? Ah, yes. Thanks for replying. Okay. Okay, I'll write over here. No, because NQA, non-quick asset. Okay, fine. Oh, prepaid expense is already there, sir. Yes, friends. So let's write current assets and NQA, non-quick asset. Okay, fine. Let's come to liability side. Preferential capital is smart. Preferential capital is preferential capital. Very good. Equity share capital, sir, it's equity share capital. Wonderful. Capital reserve is, sir, capital reserve. Don't be like that. We call it reserves and surplus. Everybody understand what I'm trying to do? We're trying to put it in the terminology that we use in our balance sheet out there, so that we can easily collect the figures and calculate the ratios. Okay. Next to that, general reserve, reserves and surplus, P&L, reserves and surplus, 14% debentures. Can I call it debt? Hey, hello people. 14% debentures is debt, right? Okay. Okay. Good. So, okay. Creditors, CL, current liability. Perfect. Bank overdraft, CL. Oh, people, you remember nothing given in the question what to do? Consider it NQL. NQL, non-quick liability, correct. We subtract NQL, non-quick liability. Right? So shall we start calculating? I think question is very simple, guys. Question is very simple. Come on, let us start. Let's zoom out a little more so that you can see the whole question. Start, people. Classwork solution. Let's start with the first one. Current ratio. Okay. What is that equal to? Current assets upon what? Current liabilities. Okay. So take the total of current assets. It's going to be 10 lakh. Right, friends? So how did you do it so fast? Alright, total balance sheet is 1780 in a paper. Fixed assets are 780. Remove it. So 10 lakhs are current assets are left. Okay, fine. And here in current liabilities, we will take creditors and bank overdraft. So 4 lakh. No? Okay. So remove all zeros. 10 by 4. So 2.5 is to 1. Yeah. Please put the ratio. Please put the ratio as 2.5 is to 1. We always have to write it in that form. We cannot write it as 5 is to 2. The most simplified version is what? 2.5 is to 1. Right? Okay. Yes, you can. Now see, I'll show you something. Now here, what you should do, you should write over here that how did you get current assets? So how did you get current assets? It was short-term investments plus stock plus debtors plus prepaid expenses. How did you get current liabilities? It was creditors plus bank overdraft. Okay, writing this is sufficient. Getting me? Writing this is sufficient. Why am I doing like this? You know, otherwise what happens? This part left side for now it becomes too complicated. Here itself we try to write everything. In the current assets, in the next line we write this plus this plus this plus. It looks shabby. Rather than that, like this. Give to the right side, you give the explanation. This is not a format, guys. Again, I repeat. This is not a format. This is our convenience. Okay. Let's write the second one. What is that? Liquid ratio. Yeah. Or quick ratio, as you can. No problem. Okay. So how do you get it? Current assets minus stock minus prepaid expense. Now what happens over here? See, by default we happen to write all these things. Okay, upon what? Current liabilities minus bank overdraft. Okay. So fine, let's substitute. Current assets total we just now did no 10 lakh. Okay. How much is the closing stock? 380. Minus what's the prepaid expenses? 60. Okay. Upon total of current liabilities we just now did 4 lakh. Minus bank overdraft of how much? 80,000. Okay. So now it should be 560 upon how much? 320. Correct, friends? So what's the final answer? 1.75 is to 1. Yeah, you're getting it right. 1.75 is to 1. Yeah, let's write the next ratio. What is that? Stock working capital ratio. People, thing which I have told you. Where did we learn stock working capital ratio? Which ratio? Balance sheet ratios. Correct? Number. So this is too much, sir. We don't have to write number in the exam. I want you to remember that. Fourth ratio. First one was current ratio, second one was quick ratio, third one was super quick ratio, and the fourth one is what? This one, stock working capital ratio. And what simple thing I told you? You learn it by the name. Stock with that of working capital. We cannot miss out on this, right? It has to be what? Stock upon working capital. In the closing working capital, what will come? It will be simple. It would be, what is this? So if the ratio comes in decimal form, no Kamal, what you ask, man? Why we write in the decimal form? If the ratio comes in decimal, then what do you expect me to do? You want me to round it off or what? If it comes 1.75, I'll write 1.75 is to 1. Logic is that it's in our answer, so we have to write it. Yeah. So this should be what? Closing stock upon working capital. Correct, friends? I think closing stock, you just have to calculate, you just have to copy, right? What you will need to explain that how did you get your working capital? So that will be current assets minus current liabilities. We have already done the calculations, guys. We have already done the calculations. So current assets are how much? 10 lakh. Don't go on repeating the calculations. Once you have done it once, no, then don't go on repeating. And the current liabilities are how much? 4 lakh. So working capital is going to be how much? 6 lakh. Okay. So closing stock given in the question is 380. Upon how much? 6 lakh. So 380 divided by 6 lakh comes to 0.633. Right now, guys? 0.6333. Tell me what would you write? That is what? 63.33%. Correct, people? Now see, to answer this correctly, you should be knowing. Now some people are, sir, we did not write 100 over here. Or my dear friends, it's not about what you write over there. It's about applying our logic. What this ratio shows? It shows the percentage of working capital occupied by what? Stock. The ratio itself shows percentage of working capital occupied by stock. Then you get 0.6333. Write it as what? 63.33%. Okay. Hope people are done till here. So I'll scroll to the next page. I mean to say, I'll scroll a little. Asa. Okay, yes. So let's go to fourth one. What is the fourth one? Capital gearing ratio, guys. Capital gearing ratio, yeah. Oh, people, first give me the classification. Where it belongs to. First is P&L, second is balance sheet, third one is mixed. So where it belongs to. Second category, balance sheet, is smart people. Now in balance sheet, how many total ratios we have learned? 7 1. In that this carries which number? 6th. Sabas. Very good. Long live all students. Okay, so then we are good to go for it. So for logic remembering, it was like what? Funds with fixed rate of returns divided by funds without fixed rate of return. People would, I hope, would agree with what I am talking. Correct. Thank you so much. Okay, fine. So we'll write the formula as what? Debt plus preference share capital upon equity shareholders funds. Okay, people, listen. What are the things which are readily available? I think debt figure you will automatically copy. Uh, Preferential capital is also readily available. What we will have to calculate? We will have to calculate equity shareholders funds. Correct. So now you need to tell me in equity shareholder fund how many components are there? Correct. Some people are. Three components are there. Okay. What is that? Equity share capital plus reserves and surplus minus miscellaneous expenses. Right, people? Okay. So equity share holders funds. Equity share capital plus reserves and surplus minus miscellaneous expenses. Guys, you can write over here. Okay, that this is what? This is simply nil. Right? It's not given in the question, guys. So what do we do? It is nil. Okay, fine. Is equity share capital given or that is also nil? So now that can be nil, sir. Come on. Obviously, equity share capital is given in the question. How much is that? 6 lakh 40,000 plus whatever you have marked as reserve. Okay, what is that? Capital reserve, general reserve, P&L. You can add up 60 plus 2 lakh and plus how much? 20. So 60, 20, 280. So 640 plus 286. 40 plus 2 is 920. Okay, friends, I hope and I'm sure that everybody was able to understand this equity shareholder funds calculation, right? Okay, so let's substitute over here. Now, debt what we have marked 14% debentures, 160. Preferential capital is 3 lakh. Upon equity shareholder fund, we calculated 920. Hello, maths experts. What I will do first, I'll add all the numerator first, or I can individually divide taking 160 upon 920 or 320. I've already told you that major mathematicians are dead. Don't kill them again. Respect maths. So first add all the numerator, right? 160 plus 3, 460. 460 divided by 0.5. So only for you, don't give this gyan in exam. That is debt plus preference is only how much? Only 0.5 times of equity shareholders funds. Right? Means what is happening, guys? This is high geared or low geared? Low geared, right? They are putting 1 rupee of equity and they are putting like 50 paise of the outsiders funds with the fixed returns. So like they are like playing safe. They are depending more on what? They are depending more on funds with fixed returns or funds without fixed returns. Without, correct. Right? So like they are going very easy. Like they don't want to take any risk in the life. They want to lead a normal life and die one day. Okay. So please don't give this. This is all the thing. This is only for your understanding. This part is only for your understanding. Go ahead. Come on, let's start. Okay, people. Where? P&L, balance sheet, or mixed ratio? Mixed ratio. Mixed ratio, we have first category profitability ratio, second category turnover ratio. Where? Second category turnover ratio. Good. Smart people. In turnover ratio number. Fifth one, stock turnover ratio. So we want to write all these classification in the exam? Not at all. But that brings the flow clear in your mind that what is this? Trust me, this keeps the flow clear in your mind. Okay, till exam you buy it like this only. Okay, this comes here, this comes there, this comes there. Now you know the answer also of the ratio. What is that? COGS, correct. Cost of goods sold divided by what? Average stock. Okay. Is it possible to do average stock in this question? I think yes. I think yes. Why? Opening stock is given separately. Hey, what if opening stock is not given? Then we will assume opening is equal to closing. So in average, we will put what? Closing stock. Right now, that is not required. Right now, that is not required. Okay, so let's write the formula. Let's calculate all the things. The formula is cost of goods sold upon what? So upon average stock. Yes. What it shows? It shows how quickly goods are bought and sold. Okay, fine. So friends, first we have to calculate cost of goods sold. Remember the income statement that we had written? Sales minus COGS gives you gross profit. Hello people. Sir, from balance sheet, can we anyways find cost of goods sold? Ruled out. From balance sheet, you cannot find out cost of goods sold. That's why indirectly they are giving you the data. See, they are giving you the sales and they will give you the GP ratio. Okay. Okay. So we all know that sales We all know that sales minus cost of goods sold gives us GP. Correct, friends? I can see people. No, we have some important things to be discussed, right? What is the GP ratio given in the question? GP ratio given in the question is 25%. So I have a doubt that if sales is 100, people, if sales is 100, we have maths experts over here, guys. What are you doing? GP is 25. Then what is COGS? Sir, we have people calculating this are 125 also. How much? 125 or 75? Everybody agrees on this, right? Good. Srija is saying 222. Srija, what is that answer 222 for? I don't know. Okay, now out of these three, what we know? What we know is we know sales. Hope we can cross multiply now. Like this. And find this. Acha, okay. I got it, Srija. I got a little worried that you told me 222 instead of 75. I said, now how do I justify that 222? Okay, no worries. I can see people writing 15 lakh. Correct, correct. Smart people. Very good. So, COGS came to be how much? 15 lakh. Yes, friends. Thank you so much for giving me the inputs. Someshwar, Sejal. Oh, Rakshita is giving me the answer itself. Oh, Dinesh is also typed everything. Dinesh, like, sir, you do it fast, sir. Average stock. Someshwar, you are done. Go take a break, Someshwar. Go. It's opening stock plus closing stock upon 2. Please fill up these values. Opening stock is given in the question, guys. Stock on 1/4/19 is 1,20,000. Closing stock would be there in the balance sheet, right? Closing stock is 3,80,000 upon 2. So 2,50,000. Now substitute over here. No, 15 lakh divided by 2,50,000. How much? 6 times. So what does it mean? That is the activity of buying and selling stock happens 6 times in the year. Okay, so goods are bought, goods are sold, goods are bought, goods are sold. This activity repeats how many times? 6 times. Yes. Okay, let's go to the next one. One more is asked now. Debtors turnover ratio. Okay, that's the last one, right? After stock turnover ratio, next one is debtors turnover ratio. Yeah. How we calculate? Predict sales upon what? Average debtors plus average bills. Correct, people? We should write it in full. See, at least first we should write it in full. Okay. We know that average bill receivable is not there, so we can say cancel. This is nil. But don't write half formula. Okay, fine. Credit sales are nothing calculating credit sales. It's already given sales. So what we will have to calculate? Our people. We will have to calculate average data. So fine, so let's do that. Opening debtors plus closing debtors upon 2. Actually, people are doing the answer 10 times. Okay, let me calculate. Opening debtors are separately given 40,000. Closing debtors has to come in the balance sheet 360 upon 2. So your average debtors are 2 lakh. Credit sale is given in the question 20 lakh divided by 2 lakh. So what we can say? 10 times means sell the goods, collect the money. Sell the goods, collect the money. This process happens how many times? This process happened 10 times. Right, people? Okay. Now they are also asking me what? Also calculate what? Average collection period also they're asking, no? Right? Okay. Anywhere in the question, listen to me, guys. Anywhere in the question is it written? Assume 360 days, assume 52 weeks. No. So we can go with normal, like months we can calculate. Okay. What if I calculated days? Absolutely no harm. When nothing is given in the question, you can do like anything, weeks, months, days, anything. We do it in months. Okay? So see, listen to me now very carefully. How did I teach you average collection period? I taught you with the simple logic that sir, 10 rounds. I don't pretend to be busy writing. Listen, Babaji's pravachan is happening. Listen. 10 rounds in the year, sir. Sold, collected, 1 round. Sold, collected, another round. Like that, how many rounds are happening? 10 rounds are happening in the whole year. 12 months are there, sir. So one round will take how much time? 12 divided by 10. 1.2 months. Agreeable. This is what I taught you logically. By logic. Listen. See. So this has to be 12 by DTR. This is shortest way of doing it. 12 by 10. That is 1.2 months. Correct? Now what? Listen. The interpretation part of it. Okay, because people are always like, oh, sorry. Some people write it in a different way. Let them write now. Basic maths understanding, guys. Basic maths understanding. It's all about understanding maths. Okay? See, you have seen, hello, you have seen CW, class work, HW, homework. Now, what is DW? Donkey work, extra, unnecessary. Still, it puts us in a happy situation. I told you, sometimes by doing some things, you understand that this was not to be done. Earlier, also, I have done that with you. Okay? That puts you at a nidha, not needed. Okay. So, how this goes? See. So, average collection period is 12 by DTR. Okay. Let's segregate DTR aside. Let's keep 12 aside. So, it would be like 1 by DTR into 12. This much maths we all understand. Correct? Okay. Now, 1 upon DTR means we have to write what? 1 upon. What is the DTR? Debtors turnover ratio. The formula is what? Credit sales upon average debtors plus average bill receivable. 1 upon all these things into 12 still exist. So what will be the final interpretation? The final interpretation would be average debtors less average bill receivable upon credit sales into 12. Inverse, no? Inverse of BTR. Correct? You know, people, what happens? People hardly remember that in turnover ratio, I have to write sales in the numerator. Correct? You must have seen that I have not taught you any ratio where sales comes in the denominator. I have avoided doing that. You understand this is a basic simple mathematics. Like I taught you, I taught you total asset turnover ratio. I taught you capital employed turnover ratio. Sales upon capital employed. Total assets, sales upon total asset turnover. Right? If it was working capital turnover ratio, what we said, sales upon working capital. Remember that? Okay. Then what is debtors turnover ratio? Well, sir, sales upon debtors. That means average debtors, average, but sales upon sales upon sales upon. Now what happens? What we have done by doing this excess of mathematics, we have converted it like this. So many ratios we have to remember, sir. And in the exam, we are like confused what to write in the numerator, what to write in the denominator. Okay, so I always feel like this that it's a good idea to remember like this. Debtors turnover ratio, what is that? Credit sales upon average debtors plus average bills. But sir, suppose data question doesn't ask us debtor turnover ratio. Question asks us only average collection period. Then also you cannot calculate like that. Suppose people listen. Suppose question tells you calculate average collection period. Don't you know that it is 12 by DTR? As such, you have to put the numbers. Any harm if I calculate debtors turnover ratio and then do 12 upon that? Nothing. It saves me from probable future mistake. Remembering only in the one sequence. Okay, whatever happens, whether they ask me DTR, whether they ask me ACP, I will first calculate DTR. If they ask me DTR, I will have to calculate DTR. Ruled out. There is no question or second thought on it. Even if they ask me to calculate ACP, average collection period, okay, I'll first calculate DTR and then do 12 by DTR. Is it like it will take 1 hour extra? You have to bring the paper home to complete it? No. What is more important? Remembering the sequence? No, sir, I'm good at it. I can remember any sequence. Okay, fine. You don't listen to me. You calculate what is shown in the box. But if you trust yourself so much that you'll be confused in the exam pressure may make you do so. That's why I'm now confused, sir. Debtors turnover ratio, credit sales in the numerator or credit sales in the denominator. So then the best thing is what? Remember only one thing. The debtors turnover ratio is what? Credit sales upon average debtors plus average bill receivable. And average collection period is 12 by DTR. Simple. Don't bring credit sale into the picture. Rest I can explain you this also. I have already written over there. It's an inverse calculation. That's it. But the way you plan to remember the things. Time won't be required. There won't be much different time required. Like I told you, you're not going to spend a lot of time doing this calculation. Okay. Fine. So we're done with this question, guys. Okay. 6 questions were asked. 6 solutions are done. So let's come to question number 2. What people are asking. Short break. What do you want me to do, Sumeshwar? You want me to show the whole screen? You want me to show the whole answer? Wait, I have not written. Wait a minute, wait a minute. If you're taking screenshot, let me write over here. How did I forget it today? I never do like that. Solution to classwork question 1. Done. Let's go to the next question then. Solution. Yes, solution. Correct. Solution. Correct spelling. Correct. Srija, very good. So let's go to the next question then. Did I hear some people saying break or what? No, 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 no. No, Akshaya, no, not at all. Nobody is saying break. People are already on their break mode now. People are eating, people are consuming tea, coffee, whatever. So they are in the break mode now. Study is a byproduct over here. Okay, we will do one thing. We'll complete this question number 2. Since it's such a small question, no? Right? Complete the question number 2. Then we will take that much deserved 4 minutes break, 3-4 minutes break. Okay, after question number 2. Right? People are like, okay, sir, now we have no choice. So let's come to question number 2. Okay, let's read. Now, see, people, this is that not exactly the full balance sheet, but here, you know what? It's like going reverse. We learned that in the first question, like financial statements are given. You just calculate the ratio. The first question that we did. Okay. The second question is a hint of what can happen in the second type. Means in second type, they will be giving some ratios and you have to complete your financial statements. Okay. You don't have to complete the financial statement, but see it is what net working capital is given to you 12 lakh. Fixed asset to proprietors funds is 0.75. Sir, you did not teach us this ratio. Obviously, it's like this is like a hint given to you. Fixed asset upon proprietors funds is 0.7. Maybe some hint for solving. Working capital turnover is given to you. Working capital turnover is given to you. And then returns on equity. Guys, you remember? You come and tell me returns on equity. Which ratio, which classification? Returns on equity. First of all, decide it's a balance sheet ratio. Sorry, P&L ratio, balance sheet ratio, or a mixed ratio. Mixed ratio. Everybody remembers that? Okay, mixed ratio where we have discussed two types: profitability ratios and turnover ratios. In that, what? Profitability ratio, right? In that, how many ratios we have learned? 4 ratios we have learned. This ratio is which one? The third one. Okay, after all this peeling classification, you cannot forget the formula. What is that? Profits available for equity shareholders divided by what? Equity shareholders funds. Correct? Good. Okay. What you have to find? You have to find proprietors funds. You have to find fixed assets, and you have to find net profit ratio. Okay. So let's get going. Sure. Okay. That's right. Solution to uh, question 2. Okay, so let me put up the things that are given to us. What we know is working capital is 12 lakh. Okay. Then fixed asset to proprietors funds. Fixed asset to proprietors fund is how much? 0.75. Okay. Then what we know is working capital turnover. How much working capital turnover is 5 times, and returns on equity is given 15%. Guys, from this we have to calculate proprietors funds, we have to calculate fixed assets, we have to calculate net profit ratio. Out of this, what is immediately solvable? Immediately solvable, as I can see, it's working capital turnover, correct? See, the first step I say working capital turnover is what? Sales upon working capital. That is equal to how much? 5. Therefore, do we know the sales? No. Do we know working capital? Yes. How much? 12. It's equal to 5. So from this, the first thing that I get, therefore, sales is equal to 60 lakh. At least something we got, huh? At least something we got, right, friends? Okay, so we got one value. Sales is equal to 60 lakh. But the sales is not asked. I agree with you, people, man. But I'm trying to find out the best possible things. Secondly, what I will use this data of sales in the third part, no? Net profit ratio. So there will be no sales. Okay, fine. It's not that it is useless. Okay. Okay. Now, now, what? Now we are left with two things. We are left with this ratio, fixed asset upon proprietor fund. Okay. We are, see, I'm just taking the things that we have used. I'm just taking those things that we have used. We have already utilized this information, and we have already utilized this information. Right? Two informations we have already used. We left with fixed asset to proprietors fund. Left with returns on equity. Okay. Do we know fixed asset? No, sir. We have to find that. Do we know proprietor fund? No, sir. We have to find that. Okay. Talk about returns on equity. Returns on equity is what? Payesh upon equity shareholder fund. Do we know that? No, sir. Now what to do? We are at a blockage, sir. No, we have to find a way out. We have to find a way out from this. Okay. See how we will find a way out. There is a trick. There is a trick. Once we understand the trick, we have to apply the same trick everywhere. We have to apply the same trick everywhere. So see, I'll explain you this, and I hope you all will pay attention to this. Okay, we are going to make use of this ratio. Okay, we are going to make use of this ratio. Fine. What do you mean by that, sir? Let me explain. So we know that proprietors funds to fixed asset 7.70. Okay, so I think I just reverse the thing with me. Fixed assets to proprietors funds. Yeah. So let's say one thing. Let's do one thing. We will call this as F. Call this as PF. Fine. Okay. So what we can say? Therefore, fixed asset upon proprietor fund is 0.75. So like an equation, we can say fixed asset is equal to 0.75 proprietor fund. People, you are clear to hear what I have written. Zero doubts in this. This is understandable. Okay, fine. Now the question, the curiosity is that, sir, how we will solve something from this. Okay. Hmm. Now see, the most crucial part of explanation. In balance sheet, we say sources of funds is equal to what? Application of funds. Right, people? See, I'm writing so much elaborate. In exam, you need not do. This is the trick which generally comes in many questions. So I'm elaborating this to the best possible. So sources of funds. What is that? That is proprietors funds plus debt, correct? Is equal to application of funds is what? Fixed assets plus investments plus working capital, correct friends? Okay. Out of this, debt and investments are not given in the question. So what we understand? Yes, sir, they must be nil. Why, sir? Because they are not given in the question. Fine. So what is left out? You tell me. Proprietors fund. Let me call this as PF now. Is equal to FA plus. Do we know working capital in the question, guys? Tell me. An answer is yes. Working capital is 12 lakh. Okay. So I'll put, instead of working capital, can I put 12 lakh? Did you understand now what substitution I have done? Hmm. Yes, people. So we know this substitution. Now, what another trick we can play? What is another trick that we can play? Can we use this substitution down there? Answer is yes. Instead of fixed assets, can I put 0.75 proprietor fund? Answer is yes, sir. I can do that, sir. So we'll say, therefore, proprietor's fund is equal to 0.75 proprietor fund plus 12 lakh. Simple, friends. Shift this side. Basic mathematics now. Proprietor fund minus 0.75 proprietor fund is 12 lakh. So what you got? You got 0.25 of proprietor fund as 12 lakh. If you solve this a little more, I'm sure you must have got the value of your proprietor's fund, right? So, so proprietor fund is equal to, so proprietor fund would be how much? It would be 12 lakh divided by 0.25. Guys, be little careful. People just multiply with whatever available and they discover something new. Do 12 lakh divided by 0.25. Now, please do take care of your calculators. Don't do anything orally. 12 lakh into 0.25 is not going to happen. It is 12 lakh divided by 0.25. And then your answer is divided by 0.25. People, please. I have seen people calculating 3 lakh and some other values. Not like that. Divide it, you will get 48 lakh as your answer. Am I right? Okay. Therefore, proprietor's funds is equal to 48 lakh. But see, question is asking us proprietor fund also and fixed asset also. Can now we easily calculate? Yes, sir. We can just use that ratio. Na? Also, fixed assets are equal to 0.75 of proprietor's fund. That is equal to 0.75 into 48 lakh. Are you getting it? 36 lakh, guys. Yes, very good. Let me talk to people in my window also. Hello? Did you get these both answers? Did you understand this substitution? Fixed asset 0.25 proprietor fund and all that working? Did you understand? Okay, cool. Okay, so now see two things we found out just now in the process of understanding the things. Two things we found. We found proprietor fund and we ended up finding the fixed asset also. 36 lakh. Correct people? What else has been asked? The third thing that is asked is net profit ratio. Correct? People who don't know why I write like this. Some people don't know what is fixed assets plus investment plus working capital. Why investments are not a part of working capital, guys? These investments are long-term investments, right? So those who have missed on that lecture, please watch the recorded lecture where we explain that application of funds is what? Fixed assets plus long-term investments plus working capital. Working capital includes only short-term investments, right? Long-term investments are separate than that. Okay. Yeah. So let's continue. Yeah, we are still left with the third part, right? We still have to calculate. What is that? Net profit ratio. Okay, people. Let's go behind. Let's run behind net profit ratio. Hmm. Net profit ratio. Okay. What is the formula? So the formula will help. Will give us a hint. Now that how we should solve. It is NP80 upon what? Net sales into 100. 100 is 100. That we already know. Very good. Smart. Net sales we have already calculated. Correct? Are we calculated? Here. See? Right? So what is missing, guys? What is missing? Missing is net profit. Ah, yes, sir. We calculate net profit. Okay. How we'll calculate that? Hold on. So now, see, what is the only thing left out to be utilized in this question? You tell me. We're done with this. We're done with this. We're done with this. We are only left with returns on, right? Okay, fine. Now listen to me. Returns on equity is how much percent? We said 15%. Correct, friends? Therefore, what is returns on equity? That is returns on equity shareholder fund. Yes. So I can say this is PISH upon equity shareholders funds into 100. That's 15. Correct, people? Yes, sir. Very correct, sir. But we know nothing out of it. Agreed. Listen to me. Keep calm. Okay. One very important thing that I'm going to discuss with you guys now. Okay. One very important thing that I'm going to discuss with you guys now. Hold on. I know you people are smart. Wait a minute. You're right now. You're right. But let me explain. No, let me feel that I'm. Hello. What I have come over here. Come over here to teach you, right? So you listen from me as if you know nothing. You might have calculated the answer, but you have no option. You have to listen to. So give me some chance to show my skills. No? I know I'm sitting in front of talented people, everything done, but still, like I should feel better. After the lecture, when I ate my breakfast, I should be happy. Okay, I did something and I concluded something. So pretend as if you know nothing. So that we can always do. So that I can always do. So guys, now very important. See here, this thing which I explain you over here, na, it's not only for this question. We have to do it number of times. Okay. So what is that so great important thing? Since question doesn't specify specially, therefore preference share capital is nil. First of all, I need your consent. Right? Without your consent, how can I go ahead? You agree with this assumption? If nothing is told in the question, then means is it necessary that preference share capital would have been issued? No. Clear, guys? Okay. Fine. So if preference capital is nil, therefore even preference dividend is going to be nil. This is also important. You'll agree with this? Can I safely assume this? Okay, fine. Okay, so now time to convince you guys with few things. Okay. So that means how I calculate PAESH. I calculate PAESH as NPAT minus preference dividend. Correct, friends? Where preference dividend is going to be nil. This is going to be nil. Therefore, what will happen? PAESH would be same as what? NPAT. Important conclusion. Important conclusion. Okay. So, if preferential capital is nil, see the impact. The PAESH and NPAT is same. Correct. Okay. One more thing. One more thing. What is proprietors funds equal to? People, proprietor fund. Listen to my question first. Don't rush to give the answers. Proprietor funds contains how many components? Four. Don't you misuse this finger. It has 5 names that I only have taught you, Epson. So people are like, I'm not asking you how many names. I'm asking you components. 4 components. Equity share capital plus preference share capital plus reserves and surplus minus miscellaneous expense. Absolutely right. Smart. Okay. So this is going to be equal to equity share capital plus preference share capital plus reserves and surplus minus miscellaneous expenses. Guys, this is nil. What is left? Equity share capital plus reserves and surplus minus miscellaneous expenses. Or my dear students, take these 3 things together. What does it become? This itself becomes what? This itself becomes our what? It becomes our equity shareholder fund. Hello? You agree on this? So if preference capital is nil, proprietor fund itself is what? Equity shareholders fund. Okay. So this uh, so this itself is what? Equity share holders funds. And now I find some breakthrough. Okay, fine. Let me put. So PAESH itself is our NPAT. Yes, friends. Okay. But sir, we don't know equity shareholder fund. It's okay. Equity shareholder fund will be replaced by whom now? Proprietor fund. Do we know proprietor fund? Yes, my dear friend. Yes. Okay. Can we solve this now? NPAT upon proprietor fund. How much we got, people? 48 lakh, right? Yes. Into 100 is equal to 15. Calculate NPAT. 15% of this. So 7 lakh 20, I suppose. Discovery, yeah, guys, discovery. Good. So now, do we have enough components to calculate net profit ratio? Yes. Therefore, net profit ratio is equal to net profit after tax upon what? Net sales into 100. We got net profit after tax as 720. Net sales we already calculated. 12%. Just writing the final answers. B is fixed asset. Done, people? All of you have understood this? So see, in this question, there are some hints given to you about comparing fixed asset and proprietor fund. You know what? This is one of the very common hints that we'll be using in the next questions. Okay? And even you have to remember this, that if the preference capital is nil, the impact, right? If the preference capital is nil, then PERH itself is NPAT. And then there is no difference between proprietors funds and equity shareholder fund because NPAT is zero. Sorry, preferential capital is zero. Right, friends? This much you have understood. Okay, so let's take a quick 4 minutes break, right? And then we'll resume back. Then you can see question number 3, a little big question. It will be more fun solving it. Okay, people, let's start. We'll start with question number 3. Every reserve at the end of the day belongs to whom? Equity shareholders. So anything which comes as what? Reserve will come under the calculation of what? Equity shareholders funds. Simple as that. Okay. So let's go ahead with the next question, that is question number 3. So let's start with it. Okay, so I want you all to pay attention to it. Okay. So Landon, shall we read the question? I hope everybody is into question 3 now. Yeah? Okay, okay. Come on, let's start. Following is the abridged balance sheet of Alpha Limited. So some balance sheet is given to you. What are you told? London building, a confirmed fixed asset. Okay. Plant and machinery minus the depreciation. Oh, okay. So I can say even the plant and machine is what? Fixed asset. Then see guys, it is not specifically, okay, the total of fixed asset is shown. Okay. It is not specifically written, but if you just go through it, stock, receivable, and what is this? Stock, receivable. Receivable means only what? Debtors and bank. Can I say this is all current assets? I hope you'll agree with this. Okay, fine. Then share capital is given. Guys, now see, nothing is specified. Once again, we have not yet read the question if there is any bifurcation of the share capital further. But if nothing is specified, what you will always assume this to be? Equity share capital. And then you would say, sir, if nothing is given in the question, then this itself would be our proprietor's share, means this itself would be our share capital. So the preferential capital would be 0 is what I mean to say, if nothing specified in the question. Okay, fine. P&L account, as usual, this is our reserve and surplus, right? And then we are given a wholesale current liability, like no bifurcation. Right? So what are we supposed to do? With the help of additional information furnished below, you are required to prepare what, guys? What you have to prepare? You have to prepare trading and P&L and balance sheet as on 31st March 2020. To estimate that. What you are given, this is a balance sheet, opening balance sheet given, sort of. Okay. From that, what you have to create? You have to create a trading P&L and balance sheet as at 31st March 2020. Okay, fine. The company went in for reorganization of capital structure with share capital remaining same. Guys, observe over here. What is the existing share capital? Existing share capital is 1 lakh. What they are saying? They are saying that even in the new balance sheet, the share capital will remain same. Correct? So one thing should be clear in our minds that the share capital amount wise should be 1 lakh. Correct? Read these words, no? The company went into reorganization with share capital remaining the same. Means the share capital amount will remain 1 lakh. Now you tell me that your liability side, this share capital is 50%. Then I know that 50% is 1 lakh. My question to you is, can we find the remaining amounts? Yes or no? 1 lakh stands for 50%. 1 lakh stands for 50%. Then 15%, that is other shareholder fund, is how much can we cross multiply? Yes. And can we find all the answers? Yes. So, sir, that means balance sheet liability side is done, sir. Very easy to calculate that. Okay, fine. Okay. Debentures were issued on 1st April. Okay, fine. And interest being paid annually. Okay, great. Why they are telling us the date? Probably they are telling us the dates to calculate what, guys? To calculate debenture interest. That issued on 1st April now. Therefore what? Debenture interest for full year. Agree all of you? So when I'm preparing P&L, I will take debenture interest as my expenditure for the full year because they were issued on the 1st April, the very first date itself. Right? We have to prepare trading P&L and balance sheet also. No? So we need to think that also. Okay. Land and building remains unchanged. Wow, one more asset side component we got. Okay. Land and building will remain unchanged. How much is the land and building? 80,000. Okay. So in new balance sheet, land and building is going to be 80,000. Additional plant and machine has been bought and a further depreciation of 5,000 has been written. Okay, fine. That will be calculated. What else is told to you? The total fixed assets constituted 60%. Now, 60% of fixed plus current asset. Okay. So this is the structure in the new balance sheet. The total of fixed assets is equal to total of 60% of fixed asset plus current asset. We write the balance sheet and we'll talk about it. Working capital ratio is 8:5. Okay, that is basically current ratio. Current ratio is what? 8:5. Let's see how it helps us. Quick ratio is what? 1:1. Okay, fine. Then the receivables, which are what? 4/5 of quick assets. Okay, so they are trying to tell us to find out these also. The receivables to sales revealed a credit period of how many months? 2 months. Guys, credit period of 2 months means what is given to us? We are given average collection period is equal to 2 months. Okay. Return on net worth. Return on net worth. Net worth means proprietors funds. So this is returns on proprietors funds. That is NPET upon what? Proprietors funds. Okay. And GP is 15%. So that we know. If you know tax, okay, we will happily do that. So GP is how much? 15% of selling price. So that we know na GP upon net sales. Okay, fine. So from this, what we have to do? We have been asked to create what? We asked to create a trading P&L also and a balance sheet also. Let me tell you this. See, first thing you should understand that we are not following any format. Okay, means so shall we follow the format that we are told in Companies Act? No, 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 no. Here, whenever it comes to filling up the things, simply we follow the normal trading P&L and a T balance sheet, basic balance sheet, fixed asset, investments, current assets, like that. Okay, here you're not expected to follow the format specified in Companies Act. That is not required over here. Okay, so let's prepare for this. Let's solve this. Solution to classwork question number 3. Trading and P&L account of, we have the name, yes, of Alpha Limited. For year ending on, what is the thing that you have to prepare it for? 31st March 2020. Roughly half page, roughly half page. Balance sheet as on. Say around 7-8 lines, more than enough. Half page you can put. Fine. So how we will fill it up? Okay, first we should always visualize the things which are given to you. Accordingly, you can plan the things. See, in trading, you know nothing much. I just know that there is a GP ratio. So what I can write at over here at the most, write buy sales whenever I get to cost of goods sold to GP carried down, right? Taking a total over here. Here I'll write by GP brought down. That's it. So let's wait for the other things to come. Okay. Let us talk about balance sheet. I think balance sheet will be a little more elaborate. Why? Because see, question has already told us all details of liability side. We know that share capital to remain same, correct? How much is the share capital? 1 lakh. Correct, friends? And this 1 lakh is going to stand for how much percent? 15%. This 1 lakh is going to stand for how much percent? 15%. Okay. Definitely we can find other things, other shareholders funds. Okay, how will you calculate that? See, it is told 15%. So how will you calculate? 1 lakh comes to 50%. How much? It's 15%. We can easily cross multiply and get our answer. Correct, friends? 30,000. 30,000. Yes. Right. Good. Good. Okay. After that, after other shareholder funds, we have 5% debenture. Okay. What we would say again the same thing. At 1 lakh is 15%. How much is the debentures amount? Equivalent to 10%. I'm sure you must have got your answer. 20,000. Good. Very good. Smart people. 20,000. Okay. Yes. Yes. I'm reading your answers. Good. Okay, guys. 1 minute. 1 minute. Don't just. Now, with this over here, can I write? Because this is my P&L, and the interest is to be written for the whole year. So can I write to debenture interest, which should be how much percent? 5% debentures. So 5% of 20,000 is 1,000 rupees. Guys, you agree with this? In P&L, we will write now. Sir, we don't know whether it is paid or not. Where am I asking you whether it is paid or not? It's a P&L account, accrual basis, Whether it will get paid or it will remain outstanding, it has to come in the balance sheet. Important was date. Whether we should charge it for the full year or for 6 months or for 9 months, that is very clearly written in the question that there is on the first day. So we are charging interest for the full year. Okay. So let's go with the next thing. I do not. I don't. Then what? Tables. So guys, tables means current liabilities. Just writing. Again, you will calculate like that. 1 lakh is 50%. And tables are how much percent? 25%. How much? Did you get your answer? Did you get it 50,000? Arey wow. Smart people. Yeah. Ah, good. If this is your final balance sheet, can you find the total of balance sheet? People, did you get the total of the balance sheet? How much? What's the total of your balance sheet? People are replying in the chat box. Let me read. Arey wow, wow, wow. Sonali, Jay, Shrija, Someshwar, everybody is replied. Thank you. Afra also, yes. And Chaitra and Santhya and Tanvi and Rohit. So many people. Thank you. Thank you. That means you are into the sum. Good. 2 lakh total, full and final. So, what is your guess, guys? Very important question to ask. If liability side is 2 lakh, asset side should be how much? 2 lakhs. Very good. So smart. So, this total has to be 2 lakh. Very difficult, yes. I know. We have some skills, no problem. You can manage to answer that. So, sir, don't we add a net profit to capital? My dear student, if the balance sheet, did you read what we have written? What we have written at the top? Alpha Limited. Alpha Limited, does it have this policy? Can it do that? Can it add profit to the capital? Alpha Limited doing like that. Then what Messrs Alpha will do? Proprietor would create a separate capital and reserves and surplus. And joint stock company will add the profit to the capital. Wow, 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 wow. Hmm. Come and jump in this. Chillu over pani. People want to add profit in the capital. Do something innovative, right? I always do, sir. Back to this. Confirm the figure. You guys confirm this? Okay. What should I write over here? So you write whatever we are copying, sir. Genuinely. Hello, people. Jokes apart. We know that this is going to be fixed assets plus current assets. Some fixed assets and some current assets. What we should see, interpretation and estimation of these numbers is a damn important thing. What are we told? Fixed assets is already going to have land and building same and plant and machine also. Right, friends? Okay. Now, how we would how we would talk about our current assets? Very important. See, this side, guys, means listen to me, listen to me. Listen. You know what? The estimation of this side, the components, is really very important. Okay. First, let me tell you one simple thing. We'll start using, we'll keep this plan, right, like this is our present structure. Okay, this is our present structure. Like we have to find a lot of things over here, right? I hope you're done with this structure. Please, guys, don't rush to any conclusion. A lot of people are putting answers calculated from their side. So I request you, please don't rush to come to conclusion. You know what happens, I always say, that you conclude something, then correcting it becomes a slight difficult. So let me solve this now. Let me solve this now. Please, all of you. Just ensure that your format is done up to here. Okay? Just ensure that your format is done up to here. Okay, please don't conclude. Keep calm and listen to me. Let's use the information one by one. Okay, go to the question and check what information we could use. Okay, first is the balance sheet given over there. From that, we have already utilized all the things on the liability side. Below that, point number one. Have we utilized that point number one? Just tell me yes or no. Have we utilized point number one? Share capital, other shareholder fund, blah blah blah. All the parties you done. Okay, great. Below that, what is written? Debentures were issued on 1st April. Have we utilized that point? Yes, with the help of that, we have calculated that debenture interest is going to be so much percent for the full year. That also we have utilized. Okay, let's go step by step. Okay, let's talk about point number three. Land and building remain unchanged. Additional plant and machine has been bought, and a further depreciation of 5,000 has been written off. And total fixed assets are constituting that. Sorry, total fixed assets then constituted to be what? Total 60% of total of fixed and current assets. Okay, fine. Do you know total fixed assets? No. Do you know total of fixed assets and current assets? Yes. That 2 lakh rupees. Everybody understands this? Okay, fine. So how we are going to solve? See, I'd say over here, total fixed assets is equal to 60% of fixed asset plus current assets. So where from you got this? Given in question, right? I don't produce anything on my own. Okay. So that is 60% of how much? 2 lakh, right? So it will be 1 lakh 20,000, right? So what can I say over here? See, I'm not going to write the bifurcation over there. I'm just going to write the numbers. Okay. That I got fixed asset as how much? Fixed asset as 120. So obviously current assets will be how much? The balancing figure, huh? 80,000. Where friends? Okay. What are we told further? We are told further that land and building remain unchanged. Okay, friends. So out of this 120, land and building remains unchanged. Means how much? 80,000. Correct. So what has to be the balancing one? The balancing has to be the closing balance of plant and machine. I told you, please don't rush for the conclusions. Listen to me. This 120 is the closing balance. Correct? Closing balance. As on what? This has to be closing balance as on 31,320 as per the question. Correct? So whatever is left out is a closing balance of plant and machine. What is that? Balancing figures will be understood, but we did not pay attention to this fact that it would be the closing balance. You not paid attention, I'm sure. Now you listen to me. Okay? So closing balance means what, guys? Closing balance is after doing all the adjustments during the year. You get my point? When I say closing balance is 40,000, that means in the opening balance, I will add all the relevant purchases. From that, I will subtract current year's depreciation. Then whatever is left out is closing balance. Am I clear to you guys? Yes? Okay. That means now, if at all I have to discuss anything about plant and machine, if I want some further bifurcation of plant and machine, sir. Okay, so I'm giving you. See, it would be like this. Opening balance of plant and machine plus purchases. Whatever figure comes from that, I deduct depreciation, and then whatever is left out is my closing balance. Correct, friends? I know that this closing balance is 40. Okay, is question telling us the depreciation charge during the year? Yes, it's telling us that it is 5,000. So this has to be 45,000. Okay. Do we know the opening balance of plant and machine? Yes, 35,000. So in case the purchases would be how much? 10,000. See, we don't have to write it anywhere in the balance sheet. It's okay. Closing balance will come 40,000 directly, right? But then we should have a clear understanding of the things. But suppose if you have to present over here, how will it go? We'll be writing like this. Land and building is going to be 80, correct? So plant and machine is 40. This is more than sufficient. Getting me, friends? Only thing, in case like you want to show the bifurcation, so please refer working note, whatever is your number. Refer working note. No, I have given all how that 40 has come. It's written over here. All the details. Yeah. Without fail, guys. Without fail. You're doing final accounts, no? So without fail. Second effect, depreciation. We've been learning this since 11. So to depreciation on what? Depreciation on plant and machine. How much is your current year's depreciation? 5 years. Don't forget to put that. Did you understand, guys, what we have discussed till now? Okay. Okay. If you are done, then I will now continue further. You guys done? Done till here now? Okay, fine. So we will start the next part. What is told next? Trading P&L you want na Pooja? I have to complete that. I have to complete that. It's not yet complete. Nothing is written. We'll complete. Next part of the question. So we can say that we have utilized point number 1, yes. We have utilized point number 2 in full, yes. What is point number 3? Working capital ratio. What is it? That is a current ratio. Guys, it's not necessary that everything should be used only. Take a look, no? What is the current ratio given in the question? 8 is to 5. What is the formula for current asset? It is current asset upon current liabilities. You only see for yourself. Current assets total is 80,000. Current liability total is 50,000. If you solve, it will come 8 is to 5. So is there anything missing in this? No. So is it necessary that whatever is given in the question has to be utilized? No. It is just like a confirmation. Ah, yes, sir, yes, sir. 8 is to 5 is coming. Okay. So it is just like an extra piece of information. It doesn't help us to solve anything. Nothing out of this is missing. Are you getting me, guys? Nothing out of this is missing. Okay, fine. Okay, so let's move ahead. Now, next point is what? Quick asset ratio is 1 is to 1 and the receivables are 4/5 of the quick asset. Okay, fine. Now, friends, you need to understand this. Quick asset ratio is current asset means quick assets are what? Current assets minus stock minus prepaid expenses. Right now, we don't have prepaid expenses, but we definitely have stock because it is already there in the old balance sheet. Okay? So, very important to understand the components over here. Okay, see, pay attention. Here, I'm going to write stock, then the receivables, and then bank. So, how did you decide that? Because see, this is a normal question in the minds of student. So, it's an estimated balance sheet. How did you decide that? Yes, there is some rough working behind understanding all this. Okay, so let's get into that. First of all, what are you told? You are told quick ratio is 1 is to 2. Okay. So that is equal to current asset minus stock minus prepaid expenses. You are right. But in the old balance sheet also prepaid expenses aren't there. Only stock is there. So if question is silent, we can safely assume that stock must be the NQA, non-quick asset. Okay. Getting back to the formula, current asset minus stock upon current liabilities. Okay. So when I solve this, I already know the total of current assets. How much is that? 80,000. Stock I don't know. Upon current liabilities I know 50,000. It's 1 is to 1. So that therefore 80,000 minus stock will be 50,000. Correct? I take this 50,000 over there. So what will be the value of stock? Do we get stock is 30,000? Yes. Stock is 30,000. Okay, fine. So I put stock over here as 30,000. Huh. Now what, guys? Now receivables and bank is left. So first question in the mind, sir, why did you write receivable and bank only? Why you did not write other thing? Okay, stock I gave you a justification. Stock I gave you a justification. But the question is having a quick ratio, which means there is some non-quick asset, which is the most natural non-quick asset in any business. Stock. Okay. Sir, but then why did you take receivables and bank as well? How did you know that the next balance sheet will have that? See, look into the next part. What is told? There are two important learnings over there. The receivables, which are what? 4/5 of the quick assets. Okay. So you know what, guys? We have to bifurcate our current assets a little more. Okay. In what? Quick assets and non-quick assets. Our total current assets are 80,000. Out of this, we have discovered that non-quick asset, that is stock, is 30,000. So current quick assets are left out to be how much? 50,000. What is told in the question? Read that point, read that point, read that point. Point number 5. The receivables are 4/5 of the quick assets. Okay, friends. That means the total quick assets, out of that, 4 by 5 is receivable. So what you can write 1/5 as what? Anything. Other current assets you can write. Or you can write cash. That doesn't matter. Cash, bank, pocket. So that would be, this would be 40,000. And this would be what? 10,000. Hope you people get this. Why receivable? Why bank? First of all, that is clear. Calculation part is also clear. Okay, fine. So now I can fill this up, right? This is going to be 40. This is going to be 10. Okay, take a look. Take a look, guys. Balance sheet is done, right? This is our balance sheet. Balance sheet is done. Nothing is left to fill it up. What about P&L and trading? Nothing is there to fill up. Everything is left out. Correct? Yeah, it is. It's a fact. A lot of information is yet to be substituted over here. Yes. Start with it. Okay. Fine. So what is point number 5? We haven't yet utilized in full. Point number 5, we haven't yet utilized in full. Listen, what is told in point number 5? The receivables, which are 4/5 of quick assets, we used only this part. The receivables, which are 4/5 of quick assets, we have used only up to this part. What is told further? The receivables, which are 4/5 of the quick asset, revealed a credit period of how many months? 2 months. So we are given average collection period. Okay, friends, and there are no cash sales. So whatever sales over here, this is all credit. Correct? Now this is all credit. Okay, friends, listen to me very and extremely careful. Okay, don't rush to your conclusions. Let me explain. See what is told. The receivables, which are 4/5 of what? Quick assets. That is 4/5 of closing quick assets. Correct? That is what? 4/5 of closing quick assets. Therefore, I would say, therefore, closing receivables show an average collection period of how many months? 2 months. Correct? 2 months now. Yeah. Okay. This is very important to understand. This. Very important to understand. Okay. See, you know what? How we always define average collection period? We say average, sir, very simple, sir. 12 by DTR. Okay, done. Average collection period is 2 months. So 12 by DTR. So therefore, debtors turnover ratio is what? 6 times. Everybody knows this. Many of you might would have directly jumped to the conclusion, right? Okay. Now you know the formula for debtors turnover ratio. What is that? Credit sales upon C. Average debtors plus average bill receivable is 6. Wait a minute. This is nil. Question doesn't give us separately bill receivable. But now here, very important part, guys. Instead of using average, no, you know what am I going to do? I'm going to make use of closing only. Okay, instead of this, what I will put only closing. Yes, I know this is going to strike some people. That's why I'm writing in such a length. Okay, why closing? Why closing? Why not average? See, guys, this is a sum where we could have managed to calculate average debtors also. Why? People, we are having the opening balance sheet, man. We would have taken the opening debtors as 20,000. Average is possible. But why we are now, listen to me, stop chatting. Don't put anything in the box. Don't put anything in the box. Chat box, don't write anything. Listen to me. The formula for debtors turnover ratio is what? credit sales upon average debtors. Everybody agrees on this. People? Yes, you agree, no? Tell me, we could have done average, but we are not doing average. I am telling you that we will put closing. Why we will put closing? See, I'll show you that line which forces us to do that. Look over here. Look over here. What says this line, guys? If you have noticed, the receivables, which are 4/5 of the quick asset to sales. Okay, not even to sales. Sure. Only this part, the receivable, which are 4/5 of the quick assets. Which receivables are 4/5 of the quick asset? That is closing receivables. So in a way, they are trying to tell us what? It is closing receivables to sales. It is not average receivables to sales. Concentrate on this line. The receivables, which are 4/5 of the quick assets, to sales show a credit period of 2 months. Means they are saying average debtors to sales, or they are just saying closing debtors to sales. They are hinting us that it is closing debtors to sales showing a credit period of how many months? 2 months. Are you clear to what I said? That's why in the formula, instead of taking average, what we are going to take? We are going to take closing. See, friends, in most of the sums, average will not be possible because we will be not knowing opening balance. Then, as such, in average, you will put closing only. But then people feel offended. Sir, in this question, it is possible to take average. Why are you not taking average? Because question tells me to do closing to debtors, closing debtors to sales. Are you clear to what I said? Okay, because of the question's conditions, we are following that. Okay. Yeah, coming to this further. So now, credit sales, do we know, guys? I don't think so. We know credit sales, but what we know is closing debtors. We just now found it out, no? Receivables. How much receivables we found out? Check. 40,000. So we'll say, therefore, credit sales upon 2006. So we get credit sales as 240. So something to happen in the P&L now. Something to happen in P&L now, right? Yeah. So let's go over there. 240. Okay. Are they giving some GP ratio? 15%. Okay, so we can quickly calculate GP, no? 15% of sales. Go ahead, guys. 240 to 15%. I got 36,000. GP 36,000. Okay, okay. I mean, I'm sure now you must have got this calculation. People, you have understood now? Okay, so COGS we can write as a balancing figure. Okay. Is equal to 2,04,000. Done. Get this GP over here. 36,000. Okay. What next is told? What is left out now? Usable information, you tell me. I think point number 6 is left out. What is in point number 6? Return on net worth is how much? 10%. Okay, fine. So, guys, what's the formula for return on net worth? Actually, people are replying me with the formula. NPAT upon what? Shareholder. Smart people. return on net worth. How much percent? 10%. Okay, fine. So NPAT upon proprietors funds into 100 is 10. Guys, what should I write in NPAT? Look into the balance sheet and sorry, NPAT is not there obviously. What should we write in proprietor fund? Come on, tell me. Look into the balance sheet and tell me. Can I write share capital plus other shareholder fund? That is the only thing, na? Only thing worth writing in shareholders fund. Yes. So that is going to be share capital is 1 lakh. Other shareholder fund is how much? Guys? 30,000. No? Arey, we only calculated. Hey. Other shareholder fund reserves and surplus 30,000. So right over here. Okay. I think this will help you to calculate NPAT. So NPAT upon 130 into 100 is 10. So NPAT is 13,000. Very good. Giving me the answer. Thank you. Okay, people. Let's go to the P&L now and write NPAT as 30,000. So P&L is not telling that. To net profit carried down 13,000. So not telling, sir. Arey, my dear friends, what is this? This is a P&L account. Whatever is left out is the other expense rate. 13,000 plus 5,000 plus 1,000 is 19,000 minus 36,000. 17,000 without any single point botheration in your mind. This is what other expenses which are not specified to us. This is how the estimation happens. Not told, but it has to be P&L debit side. So what it has to be? It has to be other expenses. So simple as that. Okay. Now some people hardcore accountancy people. You know what? They're badly missing opening and closing stock. So you're not given the second effect of the closing stock. So 30,000 second effect not given. So what do I do? You tell me. Is it okay? The solution is right or wrong? Now after telling some people, oh shit, we did not write closing stock, second effect not given, sir, how it will tally now? Array, my dear friends, by any chance you know the formula for COGS? What is that? Opening stock plus purchases minus closing stock. How many of you have done cash budget with me? Okay. Some of you are done, some of you may not be done. Please don't get worried. So, oh, mine is not done, mine is not done. Don't start dancing. Okay. Those who are, because these are all independent topics, small topics. As per your batch, they may be done at a later time if it was not done. So, guys, by any chance you remember? Well, no, sir. Let me ask the question. No, sir. We remember nothing of the cash budget. So, since then, we have not opened our notebooks also related to cash budget. If you go to cash budget, no, sir, we don't go, sir. I'm saying if no, but in case you go to cash budget, there, question number 2 to be discussed in class. We had to prepare an estimated P&L for year 3, and we had come across the same point. Sir, why did you write raw material consumed? Where is opening stock? Where is closing stock? And then I told that, my dear friends, raw material consumed, if you write, then it is always inclusive of opening and closing stock as well. So the same logic, right? Once I write COGS, still should I show the second effect of closing stock? Sir, no, sir. We like to see closing stock on the credit. Instead of showing on the credit, it is all subtracted from the COGS on that debit. It is one and the same thing. I hope this is clear to all of you. Okay. In case you have to take a screenshot. Current assets are Keshav. Current assets are total 80,000. Out of that, we know that we already calculated stock over here. Stock we've already calculated. Current assets is bifurcated into some quick assets, some non-quick assets. We know that the stock is 30,000, so balance is quick assets. What is told in the question? It is you read the question. It is written in the question that receivables are 4/5 of the quick asset. It is very clearly written in the question. So out of the total quick assets of 50,000, 4/5 is receivable. So 4/5 will be 40,000. So the balance would be other. And then what can be other? Anything. You write other current assets, you write cash, you write bank. Anything is okay. Already in the old balance sheet it was bank, so we wrote it. That's it. Now I'm going to the next slide. Yeah, yeah, okay, okay. Understood. That is important. So we're done for the day, guys. Current year's depreciation is 5,000 people. Current year's Ronak Jain, current year's depreciation is how much? 5,000. So subtract that 5,000. You've already taken the closing balance only carried forward. So it's like you're going with the WDV method. How much is the current year's depreciation? Additional 5,000 rupees. That's what you've subtracted. And current year's depreciation is only to be shown in where? It is to be shown in the P&L. That's what we have done. Thank you. Have a great day. Those who are done can leave. Okay, people. Let's wind up for the day then. Yes, yes, yes. Bye, bye. 1 minute, 1 minute. Those who want like screenshots of the day. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day, guys. Okay, this was question number one. In case you will need, and I'll scroll to the next page also without you telling for that. See you tomorrow, sir. Yes, definitely. Question number two. Yeah, yeah, little of oral drilling has to be there. No? Every day it has to be there. That helps a lot to remember the things. Last work question three, in case people need the screenshot. Yes, let me write that. No, Shrija, let me first complete. What do you want, Sakshi? Other important ratios. Okay. Shrija, we first have to complete everything, no? Then I will write on one full page and show it to you. I will write now, then how it will automatically come. I'll have to write that. Ah, other ratios are not yet fully done, huh? So, anybody is like, "Oh, this is on the final list? No. I think I had asked you to leave some sides after this. Somebody confirm? Three sides, yes, so thank you, thank you. Yes, so those who have joined late and not sure about it, please be aware, okay, that after this you have to leave three sides so that all the ratios would be at one place. That's it. Okay, so I hope photography part is also done, right? So then let's stop for the day. Anybody else needing something? Okay. Over. Everything over. Yes, yes. Chalo. People, let's stop for the day then. I do stop share. Yes. Bye, people. Bye, everyone. Take good care of yourselves. See me tomorrow and bye at the ratios. Bye, Sabri. Bye, Sumeshwar. Bye, Chaitra. Ovia. Bye, Beta. See you guys. Yeah, Shrija. Bye.